Hey everybody, I'm Topher, and I'm here this time to learn about Perfmatters. And I'm here with Brian. Brian, tell us your whole name.
Brian Jackson. Yeah, I run a little agency. We'd have our Perfmatters and NovaShare plugins.
Alrighty. And have we met?
I don't. I was at WordCamp US.
Oh, okay.
A few years back. But yeah, so we might have crossed hands. But yeah, I've seen you around, obviously, online and stuff in the WordPress community for years. But
where do you live?
I live in Arizona.
Okay. The land of no time, daylight savings time.
Exactly. Yeah. Although I have to keep track still because everybody else changes.
Sure. Yeah. It's still a pain in your butt, just like everybody else.
Yeah, we might as well change because my business partner, my brother, is he's in Washington State, and so yeah, I have to keep track of whenever he changes. Basically, I'm changing.
Yeah. All right. So I'm here today because I want to know more about Perfmatters. Part of this podcast is that there are things that I've been aware of for a long time, but never really looked into deeply. So, like, I've known about Perfmatters for a long time. I have clients that use it. I've been through the panel. I've seen kind of what it does. But, cool. Yeah, okay, so when I've looked at Perfmatters, I see that it does cool things like compress CSS and JavaScript and turn some things off and turn some things on and all that. But it doesn't do page caching, right?
No, and we can cover that if you want to. There's a little topic there.
Yeah, so we'll get to that in a sec.
Yeah.
So then I have page caching solutions, and they do a lot of the same things as Perfmatters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to double that up, and I need page caching, so I've always gone with one of those instead of Perfmatters.
Sure. And
I saw you had a new release recently, and it looked really cool, and I'm like, I should know more about this. I should look at it and make a more informed decision than just, it doesn't do page caching, I'm not going to use it.
Yeah.
So, tell me about Perfmatters, and then tell me where it fits in the world of caching. Maybe it doesn't.
Sure. No, yeah, there's a whole little story there and kind of what we're doing. So, I mean, our plugin, like you said, it's been around for a while. I think it's 7 years old now. So I don't think we were officially selling it for 7 years, but like it's been online for 7 years. And it kind of started while I was working at Kinsta, hosting provider, as a hobby, basically. And my brother, who's now my business partner, and he's been a full-time WordPress developer even before our venture, too. So he's been doing, coding WordPress stuff for probably a good 12, 15 years or so. And so I asked him kind of like, I kept seeing clients at Kinsta even, struggle with performance. Kinsta, a hosting provider, can only do so much. Like if you're using a bloated theme or page builder, or you have, 30 plugins running junk code, a host isn't going to fix that.
Yep.
So I kept running into clients that are like, oh, we love Kinsta, it's fast, but we're still seeing problems even after migrating. And so I started diving into, I just got obsessed with like turning things off that didn't need to be there in WordPress core. And, like to say little things like disabling emojis, such a simple thing. Like it's just one little line of PHP code, obviously. But we kind of ran with that as far as let's just make a bunch of these toggles. And there were other plugins doing this at the time too. Like it's not a super creative thing. Just for us, I needed something that I could use myself, that I built myself, so we could change whatever we wanted, essentially.
Right.
And so we just started adding this little plugin with toggles, just like turn this off, turn this off, turn this off. And that's kind of how it all started, was disabling WordPress core stuff.
Sure.
It kind of just started growing from there over and over. And by the time we got to where it was, my brother and I were kind of like, well, maybe we should start selling this because of all the work we're putting into it, like in the evenings on the side, all that stuff. And so we kind of had a little experience we had a coupon plugin kind of on the hobby too. We're always doing stuff. And so we had experience with like EDD, easy digital downloads already. Like the process of like taking a zip, selling it, distributing it, we kind of were already familiar with that. So
right,
we kind of just did that with Perfmatters, and it just kind of flew off from there. Like people kept buying it, people kept telling their friends, and so that's kind of
how many customers do you have now?
Let's see here. Usually don't like to reveal numbers like that. Just
is it less than 1 million?
It's less than 1 million. Yeah, no,
okay.
we're no WP Rocket. We're not like that. And it's only two of us. You know, I think they have a team of, I don't know, 25 plus. You know, and we're two people. So now I can tell you that we're I don't know what the exact, but we're over on 120,000 websites. So we're on a decent amount of websites. Now I don't know how that distributes back to client, number of clients.
Yeah, websites is really what I was most interested in.
Yeah, and that's an out-of-date number, so it's probably more than that now. That's just what I have on the site when I looked it up last. But because we work with a lot of agencies, some of them have 200 sites or something.
Right.
But so to go into your page cache thing, I think it kind of it goes with the origin story a little. So when we launched, I came from the WordPress managed hosting kind of realm. Yep. Like even my own WordPress experience, I used to host with WP Engine way back in the day. I was always obsessed with performance, but like saving time at the same time. So I was like, I don't mind paying, a couple, Starbucks coffees to just not worry about stuff going down and for things to be fast. Like for me, I was like, it's an investment. If I'm building something to make money, I'm okay spending $30 a month to host it. And so I always liked the idea of managed hosting myself personally, but so from going to WP Engine, then to Kinsta, I've always was in the managed realm. And so all these hosts like WP Engine, Flywheel, Kinsta, Rocket.net, they have cache at the server level already. So this thing of like at Kinsta, you don't need a cache plugin. At WP Engine, you don't need a cache plugin. And so the reason we don't have cache is because we were kind of at the beginning focused on just managed hosts. Because I liked those types of clients and I was used to that. Now I can say we are working on page cache for 2026. I can officially, I have let this leak a couple times online already. And that is something, now with two of us, it takes us time to build all these integrations out, but it is something we're working on. And we've just had so many requests, as I'm sure you can imagine over the years from, anyone not at a managed host. They're at the same dilemma you are, be like, well, do I double up on these plugins? Or like, how different is Perfmatters from Rocket or from, these other plugins? And so, and I can dive into that too, if you want to like, how are we different type of thing. But that's kind of the cache kind of roadmap.
Yeah. So let me give you a scenario. I have a client on Big Scoots.
Okay. Yeah. I love Big Scoots. Yeah.
They provide caching. And some of what it does doubles up what you do. And the client has Perfmatters on the site. Does someone need to go through the feature sets of both sides and make sure they're not doubled? Or do you have some cool mechanism of saying, oh, someone's already compressing CSS, let's not do that?
Now, a cool thing about Big Scoots, and this is kind of unique to them, is that we are a partner with Big Scoots. So if you host a Big Scoots, you get Perfmatters for free.
Nice.
Because we're actually a partner there. Now, that's not the same with most hosting providers. But Big Scoots we worked really closely with, and we actually work with, I always get his name wrong, but Sayuma, he's big into the Cloudflare Teams type of stuff. And so we work with, he's actually helped us a lot with like fixing bugs in Perfmatters. We work with their team, stuff like that. So like their team has actually been invaluable with us for the partnership there. But again, that's not the same everywhere else. Now, I know they've actually tweaked our plugin a little bit with our permission to be like, if you go into... No, with permission.
Oh, with permission. Okay.
As in kind of like, we don't really have an official white label thing, but like if you go into tweak Perfmatters at Big Scoots, they have this warning before you go in there saying kind of at your own risk. If you go in here, you need to know what you're doing or ask the Big Scoots team for help before you just go change everything. Because they have their own cache with Cloudflare and stuff and optimization that they have. Like, I think they do minification already, stuff like that already. So if you turn it on in ours, it's not really going to break anything, but it's going to just double up, and you don't want additional functions trying to do the same thing because it's just waste of resources.
So are you saying that if you use their provided Perfmatters, you shouldn't mess with the settings? Like it comes preset for...
no, it's not really preset, but it's just more like a warning. So like you can still go in and configure things, but their team does fine tune our plugin for clients. Like, because I guess their hosting I look at a little differently because they go well beyond what most hosts do as far as helping you. And I mean, they have packages to like even optimize your sites that you can buy through them. So like they do a lot of hands-on like we do, as opposed to some other hosts. But so it might be better to cover other hosts. Like what would you do if...
here's another example.
Like you have Rocket at another host or something.
I have a bunch of little toy sites on SiteGround.
Okay.
And their built-in caching tool is pretty robust.
Yeah.
Am I gonna have to go over both feature sets to make sure I don't step on things?
Yeah, and so and anyone that is watching this that like ever has a question like this, always feel free to reach out because I'm always happy to answer them. So for like SiteGround, here's what we would recommend is you leave on all the cache features in their speed optimizer plugin, and you turn off literally everything else other than maybe image optimization, which we don't do. And then you literally let Perfmatters handle all the front end code optimization. So that's kind of the
just let
scenario.
Them cache and you guys do your thing.
Let them cache. Yep. And stuff like that, even once we add our own page cache, we might not even recommend you use our own page cache because some of these plugins like Speed Optimizer, they have their dynamic cache option in their plugin.
Right.
They go well beyond what even, like Rocket does with certain environments because their team has their own servers optimized for their own cache. So even once we add page cache, like it might be a thing of like, you might still use their cache, but, but it's a similar thing in other places at the moment. So like if you're at Cloudways, we usually recommend using the Breeze plugin for cache, because they automate, stuff like when you publish a new post, they auto purge the homepage and new content so things aren't stale. All these things they've built out over years to automate cache in their own environments.
Right. Okay.
And once we add our page cache, it's going to take a little bit to probably catch up with some of those, other things too.
Oh yeah.
So, but that's kind of the approach I guess you could say we take with most things is if a host has their own cache plugin like Breeze, Speed Optimizer, like we usually recommend use their cache part, turn everything else off, and use us for the front end code. Same with like Lightspeed Cache, another popular combo we have. Their cache is actually amazing. I love working on Lightspeed servers, to be honest.
I really do too.
And so we do recommend the same. We even have a doc on our site of like how to set up Lightspeed Cache with Perfmatters. And it's basically just like, turn everything off except for the cache stuff, and then use us for the front end code. And mainly that's just because we're so hyper focused on front end code stuff that usually we can outperform most any other plugin. And it's because they don't care about all the nitpicky stuff that we do. Usually.
I was going to ask you about that. I'm assuming you believe your product is better than theirs at that. Why?
Well,
what makes you better?
One reason is because I think when you're working at the volume that some of these are, they can't safely do some of these nitpicky things that we do. So we're okay launching a feature that, we work with beginners and super advanced users. And we have like over 100 filters that you can optimize Perfmatters with. So you can take our plugin and customize it beyond belief. And we have users in all spectrum. However, we're okay launching an advanced feature that, you can, maybe break a visual feature on your site if you turn this on, or if you configure it the wrong way. We're okay with that if it's something that allows people that are using it correctly to shave off, 100 milliseconds here or there.
Right.
Whereas a bigger plugin that has millions of clients, they're going for safety, speed, and compatibility is kind of what they're doing. Yep. And they have to think of, we don't really have to do that. That's being small, we have the ability to pivot fast and not necessarily break things on purpose, but give some features that maybe aren't as safe sometimes.
Sure. Um, how does that fit with your future? Looking ahead to 1 million users. Can you do that forever?
I think so. The approach we've always taken, I think this was a good one. I'm glad we did this. Was if you install Perfmatters right now on a fresh site, nothing's enabled by default, not a single thing.
Oh, okay.
So we've always taken this philosophy of everything's behind a toggle, a drop down. Nothing is on unless you turn it on, and that kind of incentivizes people to. We have a tooltip next to every single feature, and that goes to a corresponding doc. We have over 150 docs now on our site for every single toggle feature, everything.
Awesome.
And it kind of incentivize people, if they don't know what it is, that hopefully they'll click on the tooltip, go to the doc and be like, oh, okay, this is what it is. This is what it's going to do. And then most docs have like a troubleshooting session of like, if you run into issues, try this, stuff like that. Right. So I think that's helped us a lot. And I'm glad we did that because we would have ran into a lot of more tickets if we had not done that.
So speaking of business, feel free to tell me you don't want to tell me anything. How's it going? Like, are you paying the bills for both of you? Are you getting wealthy on this? Is it?
I wouldn't say we're getting wealthy on this, but I mean, we're paying the bills. And for us, if we're paying the bills, working remotely on a flexible schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, we work a lot, but like life is good for us. Yeah. We do work a lot of hours, and especially during this Black Friday season, man, I'm glad Black Friday is over because that's always just crazy for us.
Yeah.
I know there were a lot of people on the WordPress on X, like saying, some people don't like Black Friday, some sellers.
Right.
And it can, does it devalue your product? Is always the thing. And but for us, we see spikes of like 160% in sales every year.
Sure, yeah.
And we saw that again this year. So it's like, if we're seeing 160% spikes, there's no way we can't not do everything we do once this, time of year comes around. And that means submitting us to the list posts, all the crazy thing that I don't know if it's doing much at all, but like I just do it every year and it keeps working. So
yeah. I have a friend who's a solopreneur, sells a plugin, and on Black Friday he got about half my annual salary in one day.
Yeah. No,
and it was insane. I mean, he didn't sleep for 24 hours, but now he can sleep for a month and be fine.
Yeah, that's kind of the same thing. I think it depends on your price point too, because I saw some plugin developers on X saying, we haven't seen the last 3 Black Fridays we've not seen an increase in sales. But then I looked at some of their product prices and they were like $180 a year and up, up into the $600. So I think that's very different than our plugin, which, with the Black Friday discount is like $24. It's a very different.
Yeah. I've never looked. Is that 24 a year? What is your
24 a year? Yeah. We do this subscription model, and that's just basically because I think in 2025 so far, we've pushed out 26 updates. So that's more than one a month. Yeah. I mean, it's...
is 24 your regular price or your Black Friday price?
24 was like our Black Friday price.
Oh, and then what is it regular?
Our regular price is $29.95 a year. So that's our regular price.
Excellent.
And if you compare that to some of the other optimization plugins, we're on the lower end.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and I know a lot of them have even been raising prices over the last 1 or 2 years, and we've been very, we don't want to do that. And so we didn't raise prices this last year.
So you've answered my questions about Perfmatters. And now just because I'm a WordPress nerd entrepreneur kind of guy, I have more business questions. How do you guys handle support? Is it just you two, or do you have some people who sit up all night answering questions, or what?
No, it's just us two. And so this is something that I think we'll probably run into an issue with eventually is,
everyone does,
but working at Kinsta, I did when we were early days, because I was like the 7th, 8th person at Kinsta, like when they were super small.
Okay.
So, and the approach they took, the CEO wanted we want to do support from the engineers themselves.
Oh yeah.
And so it was
Very
early
noble.
days. Yeah, early days, and I think every company probably starts out that way.
Yeah.
Early days, and I still think they have good support, but like obviously, like you have to delegate as you get bigger and things like that happen. So, but for us, we have not strayed from that path yet, and it's something I am very hesitant to do because our whole thing has been like, if you have problems, you can talk to me or Brett, and we'll fix your problem. And the thing where we're really fast is we know. I mean, we coded the entire plugin, so when we see an issue, like we can fix it with our eyes closed, essentially at this point. And so hiring people to do support, like it's just the training involved, and that's something we have not done yet. And but I will say I spend 90% of my day probably doing support tickets at this point.
Yeah, I was going to ask how much of your time is support.
Support
how scalable is that? If you're doing 90% support, who's putting in features?
I mean, my brother's the coder, so he's the one sitting there coding all day long, and I'm kind of the speed obsessed person. He likes speed, but he doesn't care that much about speed. He likes to code. That's his thing. And so I'm the one kind of like delegating the roadmap, which features we should add. And it's always been kind of that dynamic. And, I handle all the billing stuff, the taxes, the marketing type of stuff. And I give him time to code. Yeah, the horrible stuff. No, I agree. Like stuff like VAT. Oh my God. It's just a complete nightmare. Like all the stuff that goes into running a business. But yeah, I try to, give him all the time he can to code. And so basically I say like, we're going to work on this feature next. And then he's like, okay, I'll start coding this feature out. That's kind of how it works.
That's cool. And 26 in a year is very impressive.
Yeah, that was a lot of work. And again, I say we do work quite a few hours, but I mean, we do thankfully have the flexibility of, after this call, I'm going to go out on my patio on my laptop, sit out in the sun and work. So, stuff like that, like, I worked corporate world and I would never go back. No, you couldn't pay me any amount of money to go back to the corporate cubicle world.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Congratulations on the sun. It was 9 degrees when I woke up this morning.
Oh, God. Oh, God, yeah. It's 69 here. It's going to hit 70s here today. So.
Nice.
But
all right. Well, I have learned what I came to learn. Is there any magical feature that you want to tell me about that we haven't discussed?
I mean, we don't normally do this, but we spent the last 6 months behind the scenes in between our other stuff working on our code snippets feature that we just launched. This was a big thing for us. And it's been a while since we spent that much time behind the scenes without telling anyone. That's something we were working on. But that's something cool we recommend everyone check out. It's we did the flat file approach, so there's zero database calls on the front end. I mean, it's built from the ground up with performance in mind.
Yeah, imagine that.
It's something we always wanted, because we're always, when we're working with tickets, like we're always adding PHP filters, our own PHP filters, like stuff like, and so to have our own code snippets is just it's already been saving us tons of hours on tickets.
Is this part of Perfmatters or an additional plugin?
It's part of Perfmatters. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, cool. And we didn't raise the price or anything, and 100% included. Nice. So, and we're working on this week. We're going to launch an import-export so that you can move Perfmatters code snippets, around from site to site. And we will have bulk and individual export. So you can, like you want to move this snippet, or you can do all the Perfmatters. And then we're working on migrators from other code snippets solutions after that.
Oh yeah.
So if people, want to take it, it never ends. If take advantage of, the speed of our snippets, and I'm working on some data points to show some speed advantages too.
I did remember one more question. And you sort of answered it. There are only so many things you can turn off before you've turned off your website.
Yeah.
How much more can Perfmatters grow? And you mentioned the code snippets thing, and those are features, but those aren't like toggles to now my site is faster. How many more things are out there that you can fiddle with?
Well, see, the one reason we launched code snippets, and this is something nobody else is doing, is that it ties into all of our existing optimization features. So, like, if you add a JS snippet, you can toggle on, I want to delay the JS snippet on user interaction. As in, maybe the JS doesn't need to load right away. So you can click the box, say, I want to load this JS snippet, but only once the person has interacted with the page.
Right.
So that essentially doesn't impact performance on the first load for the person.
Nice. Okay, that's really cool.
Or you can one-click minify a snippet. You can one-click async a snippet. I mean, I could keep going and going, but like all of our existing things are at the individual snippet level. So it's something nobody else is doing as far as that goes. And so that ties back into the performance. That's another reason we did it. It's like, it's not removing stuff from your site, but it's like allowing you to add snippets with actually, if you move from somebody else to our snippets, you could actually increase the speed of your website technically. To change your snippets.
All right.
But I agree, at some point, you can only turn off so much. But again, there's a change with 6.9 that I'm not too happy with. And it's something, again, this always happens, that we're getting rid of one of our toggles and we're adding a new toggle to get rid of something that they did. And they even added their own filter to change it back. And whenever I see them adding a filter to change it back, I like immediately go test, because like, why are they adding a filter to change it back?
Right.
And it's they're inlining all the individual block CSS. So there's positives and negatives of that. It's like, the positive is they're only loading which blocks you're using now. Like, great. That's overall, that should be less CSS, like over a whole site. The negative to that is when you inline just all that code, and I've seen this already on a bunch of large sites, is it increases your size of your HTML page because it's inline then.
Yep.
And what that does is they're claiming that it improves LCP. I see the opposite. When you increase the size of an HTML page, now if it's cached, it might help. But I care about also uncached visits, because even with the cache plugin, even with Cloudflare Cache, so many sites hit uncached, expired cache, WooCommerce, you're not caching checkout, all this stuff. So I'm always thinking uncached visits and cache visits. And so when you just dump an extra 500 lines of inline code on every single page of a site, it's actually can hurt you. They added a filter to change it back for people that wanted to. It's in their whole, WordPress blog post thing.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of adding a toggle to be like, if you want to go back, I'm going back on all of our sites. I've already added this filter to go back. But the thing is, we only add these optionally. If someone wants to try to take advantage of these new things, maybe they're using a block theme and maybe it's actually handling it better than a not block theme. And so everything's optional. But again, like, these things always happen. So like you said, will it ever end? I don't think so, because WordPress is always doing this.
When they stop making WordPress.
Another example would be they added speculative loading. I don't know if you know what that is, but in 6.8. And so we actually ditched instant page, which is this old way of doing the same thing with a JavaScript file. Now that speculative loading does it at the browser level with Chrome and stuff, WordPress team said, let's take advantage of this at the browser level. It's like no code. And so once Core added that, we're like, okay, let's piggyback off of what Core doing. We love this. Ditch instant page, and we allow you to change the things they didn't add. Was to go to pre-render mode and change basically it makes it more aggressive of what's already there. So Core added a least aggressive option, and they have to, because of hundreds of millions of sites. They don't know what's probably going to happen.
You don't have to.
And we don't have to. So we have these toggles where you can change it to the more aggressive version of speculative loading, which is even faster. So stuff like that. Again, it's always happening. 6.8 happened. 6.9 it happened. And it's just an ongoing thing. So
all right. Well, thank you very much for your time. It's it really taught me what I needed to know.
Hopefully that's helpful and insightful to some people maybe. And again, I know a lot of people too, like you said, are waiting for cache, and it is something we're going to be working on too. So I'm sure people will be excited about that.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
As always, be sure to leave questions and comments in the comment section below.